Gimli hobbles around the corner with his pants around his ankles. Legolas come dripping out from in between his legs. He's like, toss me! Aragorn grabs him and throws him into the crowd. Fucking hits him like a goddamn, like a water balloon, just splats all this cum all over him. Tom, did you run over a group of people today, or what happened?
Tempted as I was, I instead went around them to my super sick, super cool MMA classes and promptly got my neck broken by a 17-year-old child. So if I'm
doing sparring today,
we were just rolling, doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which if anyone doesn't know, it's like ground grappling. And I am like significantly stronger than everyone there. So I can be very lazy if I want to. And I was being very lazy because this kid is like 130 pounds. He like weighs nothing. He's 5'4". He's a child. Yeah. So I'm just like rolling around with this little Mexican child, wriggling about, struggling about, and he fucking clamps down on my neck because I'm a retard and I leave my neck just like a giraffe, like exposed and stretched out, just begging him to choke me out. And usually when you choke someone out, you're trying to cut off blood flow to the brain so they go to sleep. But however it happened, he was applying pressure like directly to my like windpipe and my larynx and shit. And because he's so small and I had too much pride, I'm like, well, I can still kind of breathe, so I'm not going to fucking tap. And I was just peeling his arms away using retard strength, and it was fine, whatever. But like afterwards, I was like, oh my God, my throat really hurts. And now it really fucking hurts to swallow. It's uncomfortable to speak, and it even hurts to breathe. So I'm a little fucking tender butterfly right now. So if I'm not as talkative as usual, that's why, because a child choked me out.
Are you going to the hospital
or anything? Yeah.
Nah. Just fucking sounds like too much effort.
Well, yeah, I just hope your larynx isn't crushed or something.
I feel like I wouldn't be able to talk properly, or I'd be wheezing, or do you know what I mean? It's just, it feels like I've got a really bad cold where when I swallow it hurts. So if I had to guess, it's bruising. If it's not, I'm sure I'll wake up like gasping for air and dying, and then I'll get called 911 or whatever.
Hey, maybe this will ruin your voice, and then you'll be a quieter person. You know, you'll
maybe
sound like,
it will make me deeper and sexier.
Robert Kennedy Jr.
Yeah, maybe. Well, lucky for you, Don, today's your big break. I'm going to be quite quiet, and you can take it from here.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's going to be really funny whenever you die in your sleep because you didn't go to the hospital and you were unable to wake up, and your wife just watches you fade into darkness.
Luckily,
you broke your toe today,
keep my windpipe fully open. My CPAP will keep me fucking strong. I may be like Bane or Darth Vader for the rest of my days.
She's gonna grab the fucking tube as tight as she can. The machine is loud, and she can still hear your fucking like coughing and gagging.
I don't think I broke my toe, but I definitely think I fractured it.
God damn, dude.
And I fucking jammed my little finger real bad too. It's been a rough day.
I also had my kidney stolen.
Yeah, well, he was a young Mexican child, so that tracks.
Yeah.
I'm still doing all the talking. You boys take it away.
Well, it's fun. You know, it's like you can tell your power level has decreased. It's like talking to Vegeta after every time he gets beat in a fight. That's how you. That's how. That's how it feels
to do
right
the
now.
Voice just then. I was so tempted to do his voice, but that would have heralded my doom.
we just hear a loud like branch twig snap, and then just like a bunch of wheezing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tom, you know, good luck with that. I don't know, maybe ice your neck. I don't know. What would you do there, Don? If it was you who got in the situation, Don, what would you do?
I probably would have spent $70 and gone to urgent care.
Just for the safekeeping for your head,
70?
right? Just to,
70?
maybe.
It's like $500.
No, it's not.
You know what I would have done?
No, that's to go to the hospital. To go to urgent care, it's just like $70.
That's
No,
why all the
whatever.
doctors are
I'm not a
terrible
fucking
there.
pussy.
Yeah. Well, but
That's
they
why
make
they
sure
have like
nothing is
basically
imminently
they have
failing.
like fucking graphic designers that graduated from like DeVry University that work there, and they're physicians.
I was
urgent
pretty
care.
pissed when I dislocated my knee at jiu-jitsu, and I went to urgent care, and then they just kind of threw their hands up and didn't like have
They never
anything
know.
for me. Yeah. Well, they didn't have. They're like they didn't have the echo. The it's like fucking sonar to test your pulse like at a specific spot to make sure my circulation was fine. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a fancy machine. I guess that makes sense that urgent care doesn't have that. And then you go to the hospital, and to go to the hospital,
It's like
on
a price
insurance,
gun from
it's
Price
fucking
Chopper or something.
$1,000. Yeah, and it's literally like a little handheld thing.
Yeah. Some fucking like 48-year-old woman who looks borderline retarded, like looks at your knee and she like scans it like a fucking barcode. And she's like,
and then she looks at you like you're the retard for going to the
Yeah.
hospital. Like,
did you hurt
obviously,
your knee? Yeah. Why did you do that? It's like, why did you do that? I mean, it hurt. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna give you some ibuprofen. Okay, I could have gotten that literally at any shop near my house. Okay, have fun. Here's your bill. You know what I would have done if it was me who had my throat smashed?
What would you do, Hunter?
I would have waited until my car until I saw that kid leave, and I would have fucking ran him over. I would have shot him in the back of the head.
I did give him mercy because I could have killed him quite easily.
All right, we get it, Tom. You're tough. You're a big,
Mhm.
you're a big, strong guy. We get it.
Mhm.
I'm saying that I would have reached into my glove compartment. I would have gotten out my Magnum. I would have cocked it ever so slightly, and I would have just let loose, dude. It would have been the most quiet gunshot on earth. That's how stealthy I would have done it. Actually, no, fuck that. I'd make it very apparent. I would shoot him in the chest like that crazy guy from that movie Foxcatcher when he shoots Mark Ruffalo in the chest. You guys ever see that movie?
No. Won an Oscar or something?
I don't fucking know. But all I know is it's a good movie. It's Steve Carell. He's basically this crazy guy who is a part of the DuPont family, which is like one of America's like most like wealthiest generational families. And he's like basically like this outcasted retard who likes birds and wrestling for some reason. And he funds the men's Olympic wrestling team. And he like starts getting in his head that people are like conspiring against him. So like the main coach of the wrestling team, he like drives up because they all live on his like big property. Drives up to his house and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" He just shoots him in the chest, rolls up his window and drives off and then barricades himself in his house. No, that would have been me. The kid would have been walking up to me. He would have been like, "Hey, seriously, sorry about that. I didn't mean to." I'd be like, "No problem." And I would have rolled out my window and shot him in the chest. People are screaming. I just slowly roll up my window and pull away at like 8 miles an hour. Just very slowly
barely make it out of the parking lot as you careen into the fucking building.
There's really
gasping
nothing
for air.
there's nothing chasing me, but it still looks as if I barely made it out of the parking lot. Everyone's horrified because it's a manic fucking idiot with a gun. I'm like in a 1996 like fucking Buick or something like that. Just pull out of the parking lot. Yeah, no, I would have killed him. And then I would have gotten urgent care.
Yeah.
And then whenever they told me that I had to go to the hospital to use like a sonar machine, I'd shoot her in the chest too. Anybody who crossed my path that day would get. I have like a 6-round chamber, and 6 people are going to die today, all via close impact gunshot wounds to the chest. Yeah.
That's how it feels when you're a big, strong guy like Tom and a 16-year-old man handles you. It's frustrating.
I feel like, honestly, if I'm being honest with myself, I feel like probably like a 12-year-old girl could kick my ass if she wanted to. And I tell you another thing, there would be a bullet with her name on it after it got done with. That's the scariest thing about like tussling. One, it's like if you talk shit with anybody could be like a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy and just snap your fucking arm in half, right? But then you have to think about even like the white trash, doughy, glass-eyed retard people who are just like, oh, you're a big tough guy? And he just pulls out a gun and shoots you in the chest. That's the parameter we live in, dude. That's what it is. So you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful out there. And that's my message, I think, for everybody that's listening to this. And I want to make it very clear that if anybody wrongs you in your life, you need to take out a gun and you just shoot them in the chest immediately in a public fashion.
And kill 5 more people that day.
And then, depending on how many bullets your equipment holds, I'll say. You need to make sure and use those. Don't be a fucking loser though, and you can't reload. You get like the bare minimum. Because once you get the reload, I think that's when it looks dicey.
Yeah, no retries, no missing.
Yeah, because then if you sit there and you miss a couple times and you reload, it's like, God, dude, has this guy not had enough fucking bloodshed? But if you have a guy who just has like three in the chamber and uses them, and he just tosses the gun, now you're kind of like, dude, this guy's a badass.
Do you save one for yourself?
Well, it depends.
You're not going to need to because you're going to fucking die at night after you choke to death.
That is true.
Oh, yeah. I forgot we're dying.
Well, see, that's the thing is, do I want to kill myself so I don't have the embarrassment? Because then now it kind of has like Michael Douglas and Falling Down situation where it's like you just messed with a guy on the wrong day, like a Mexican child crushing my larynx. This is just not the best day to do it. Could have been any other day, but today was the wrong day. And at the end, I kill myself, and now it feels like a weird kind of like this guy had like, you just pushed his button too many times. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Almost romantic.
Yeah. It is. It's borderline romantic. It's true.
Well, and then the gym learns a lesson, like they stop beating up novices like Tom.
I really thought you were going to go to the angle of they stop bringing in Mexican children to spar with.
No. I have a pure heart. I don't think of things like that.
Let me tell you, their work ethic is insane.
It's true.
That's true.
I never had a chance.
Hey, you saw it on the mat today.
I did. I never stood a chance.
You know what also didn't stand a chance? My 50 caliber Desert Eagle and a 17-year-old 5'4" boy's chest. You lose that battle, buddy. You lose that battle 10 times out of 10.
I'll tell you what, though, if you were going to blow, still working now.
If you were going to blow your brains out, Desert Eagle would be hilarious. I thought that would just like explode your head, right? I mean, it would be pretty catastrophic. It'd be like one of those confetti poppers.
You get the job done.
I never liked those confetti poppers when I was a kid. It scared me. I didn't like how loud it was.
Me too.
I kind of felt like, I don't know if anybody's seen that movie I'm doing a lot of movie references. I don't know if anybody's seen that movie Dreamcatcher. It's a Stephen King movie from like the early 2000s. Or it's a movie based on a Stephen King book about a retarded kid who, I don't know, makes friends with other non-retarded kids. And the retarded kid ends up being an alien. It doesn't matter, but... I never watched it, but I remember like that was a DVD that scared me at Blockbuster. Yeah, the cover of it was spooky. Yeah, it was spooky. It was. This DVD cover is going to give me nightmares. That's what it felt like, though. It was a retarded kid in the middle of an icy road, and there was a Dreamcatcher. And then it just said, Dreamcatcher. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. And I remember I watched it, and there's a part where I think somebody shits themselves. I think the retarded kid shits himself in like a diaper and like scoops it out. I could be completely misremembering this scene, but I'm pretty sure someone does shit their pants. I do think that I am fantasizing a different ending to the retarded kid scooping out the shit with his hand. That probably, I wouldn't go on record with that part, but there is a retarded alien kid. So there's that. But whenever the confetti popper thing, I felt like the alien boy from Dreamcatcher. Didn't like him. The alien boy. Yeah, that's the retarded kid.
Oh, okay.
in Dreamcatcher.
How is he?
He's an alien. Huh?
Oh, he's retarded and an alien.
Well, I think he's just an alien, but everyone on Earth thinks he's retarded.
That sounds like,
look at this kid. He's so fucking weird. He's down. It's honestly, I'm talking myself into rewatching it right now. I remember it being not good at all, but I'd be curious now if I appreciate it more, because the whole thing is just neglectful. Like it's like the whole thing is he just like Scooby Doo. I'm pretty sure all the adults and stuff are like, this guy's retarded. This is a retarded kid. And he's like, just like fiddling with like Scooby Doo shit. And these kids are like, yeah, Gregory's weird. He has powers, and he has like telekinesis powers or some shit. But then other aliens come down and they like plague their minds or something. It's seriously been so long since I've seen it. I need to rewatch it so I can catch myself up.
That is a spooky cover. Looking at it now,
it's a good cover. I think the cover is stronger than the actual movie itself. Isn't that a shame? I hate whenever there's good movie covers and the movie sucks. But vice versa, it always sucks taking a chance on a bad movie cover. But I've been around some movies before where the movie, ends up being good. A good one, I like a terrible movie cover is The Bay. It's like this found footage horror movie about like this outbreak about like chicken shit going into this actually it's in Maryland. I forgot to tell you about that. It's like this port town in Maryland. And it's like they have this like chicken feed plant right next to it, and they're like dumping the shit in. And the big thing is it's like mutating isopods. Is that what they're called? It's like insects.
Maybe.
Look at isopod.
Something like that.
Anyways, they're huge. Yeah. Isopods. They get really big and they start like they go into people's systems and they eat their way out. Like they eat their tongue and they eat out through their stomach and stuff. Yeah. Isopods are gross looking. Really cool.
This is a movie about people getting eaten by bugs.
Yeah, pretty much. Like the whole thing is it's like a 4th of July weekend. So everyone's like out in the water and stuff, but the water in town is contaminated. So like everybody gets these isopods in them and shit.
Sounds like you ever see Cabin Fever?
Yeah.
I hate Cabin Fever.
It's a better version of Cabin Fever, I can tell you. Well, actually, it's just Cabin Fever is just Cabin Fever is like a fun watch, but I'm not really the biggest fan of Eli Roth for a lot of his movies.
Hostel, didn't like Hostel.
No, I never liked Hostel 1 or 2. I remember when I was a kid though, I like almost threw up when I first saw. I think it's in Hostel 1. The dude cuts the guy's Achilles tendon. That part's brutal. Why
isn't Cabin Fever? Isn't that considered like a movie more or less all horror guys have seen?
It's a cult classic. Yeah, I think.
Why though?
I don't know.
Is it just the pancakes kid?
There's the pancake scene. It's kind of just like a good recipe for like a B horror film. I think it also doesn't take itself too seriously, and it plays into the cliches of stuff a little bit. And I remember at the time, like Quentin Tarantino was sucking Eli Roth's dick, and they like started their friendship there, which is also why Eli Roth was the bear Jew in Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But I think it was just I think at the time, especially around that time, it was like nothing but remakes of slashers and stuff. So I think it was just like, it was just a trendy, hip new movie that was kind of like sleek and sexy, new director, all that kind of stuff.
I can't see it being sleek though.
Well, I mean, for early 2000s, you have to think about how like early 2000s, everything was just like, I mean, think about every comedy in the early 2000s. It was like people like shitting their pants and like getting their ears cut off and stuff. And be like, God, the bitch is fucking sexy. What the fuck? The Farley brothers movies? The Farley, not Chris Farley, but it's like they did all kinds of movies. They did like There's Something About Mary. They did like all these other movies from like the late 90s into the 2000s, I think.
Of course. Yeah.
They had some good ones, but a lot of it was just like
Irene.
schlocky stuff. Love Me, Myself, and Irene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is weird. The one thing I enjoyed was just the casual, no batting eye use of the word gay. And
yeah, well, there's that part where he's like, I think I like you to the girl in the
"Don't
water.
be
And she's like,
gay."
yeah, don't be gay. And like swims off.
Like, hell yeah, dude.
Which, to be
The
fair,
world
at
is
the
a better
ti-
place.
in the early 2000s, I'm like, that is the most realistic script I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Tight. Sick.
There was some really like good in terms of like gross out shit. There was some good moments. Like I remember I always got really grossed out by the girl shaving her legs in the bathtub.
Yeah, and then she keeps going.
Well, that's what I mean is it's
crying and
you're
like,
oh God, just brutal to watch.
and
I'm
then
not saying any of it
she
makes
goes
sense. I'm
outside
just
and
saying
gets like completely obliterated by a dog.
yeah,
like,
the dog comes in and just eats out like fucking like tears out her pussy and stuff and ransacks her. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't see any of that, but then the guy comes to the camp and there's just like human pieces everywhere, like it just ate her and spread her all over the yard.
Yeah, just tore all over. Yeah, I love it, dude. Yeah, it's good schlocky stuff. What is it like? They go into that. I think they go into they like basically this girl is like infected, so they're like, let's put her in the like in the storage closet outside, and they just like open the door and her face is gone.
Yeah, well, the dog ate her face, I think, or something.
Yeah.
And then the kid from
Boys Meets World.
Yeah, he like that's like the love of his life, and he has like a rage fit killing her with a shovel for no reason.
He also like when she's sleeping, he like tries like finger fucking her and like grabbing her titties and stuff.
Oh, that's
Remember that
actually
part?
that's probably the classic. That's probably why it's called classic. Because he
did you see that part? One of them was a cool
it's
classic.
pretty crazy. No, he goes
pretty
to finger and his hand comes away like covered in
bloody.
blood. Yeah, like marinara sauce blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
It's very, very classy. I will say I do like that cover a lot too. Of that movie. Cabin Fever.
Cabin Fever.
That's a good one.
It's weird how I guess my long-winded point about all of this is it's odd to go back and watch an early 2000s movie like that. I guess a horror movie, but also like those comedy movies, and just the tonal shift to the point that it seems like utterly devoid of artistry. You know what I mean? That you just don't get today. Like just the sheer like schlock and lack of taste. How the whole movie is just kind of functionally for jump scares or whatever, you know?
Well, I always look at it like that was like when the internet was so new. The thing about nowadays when people make anything, you know, like fucking smart a lot of filmmakers are. Like they've had every reference of things. They're like way more knowledgeable about stuff.
That's
so
a fair
part of me
point,
was like
yeah.
a lot of those early directors back in the day, it was just like emulating things for the wrong reasons in a way is how I always saw it.
Mhm.
It was like you went into a movie and you liked watching people get like cut up and stuff. And it was like, then you make your own, but you don't have any of like the like social commentary or any like the like little bits of artistic flair, you know? But I will say, early 2000s, Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Jessica Biel. My God. Oh God. Instant crush when I was a kid. I was like, oh my God.
I don't think I ever saw that one either.
I put a picture of it in the.
I'm catching up on all the like early 2000s dog shit that everyone's seen.
I actually the early 2000s Texas Chainsaw Massacre I liked quite a bit. Actually, I thought it was fun. There was a bunch of remakes around that time, though. A lot of them sucked. Almost all of them sucked.
I watched Freddy vs. Jason for the first time last
Oh
month.
God, so fun.
That's what I mean. It's like fun. It's just odd because it's just like objectively a really shitty movie, you know?
Oh yeah,
on all artistic levels.
Oh sure.
It just,
artistic in terms of like subtlety and actual like story and stuff of like anything that's actually supposed to be taken seriously, sure. But like in terms of like practical effects and stuff, still it's really fun. Like I like how like basically it's interesting how they make Jason almost like the hero in this movie in a weird way. Like he's still killing people, but at the same time you just hate Freddy so much, which is cool. But at
that's
that
fair.
point, you have to think like Freddy versus Jason was. People were like, "This is awesome," because like 4 years before that, it was Jason X when when Jason's in space.
Oh, really? I didn't hear about that.
Oh, yeah.
He kills a bunch of astronauts.
It's in the future, and for some, I forgot what happened. It's like they collect an artifact, and he's like he's in this on this planet or something. I forgot, but basically he's on a spaceship in the future.
It's like the late
there's only
90s
one
goth
good
shit from Matrix.
Exactly, yeah, and especially just like 90s, like late 90s, like sci-fi shit, kind of like the Doom aesthetic. Like Doom was really popular, so I think everybody was kind of doing like that kind of like hyper fixated, like big boxy Warhammer Doom kind of stuff. But there's one good scene in it where he puts somebody's head in dry ice and like crystallizes it, and he smashes it, and then the rest of the movie's terrible, except for the part where he gets ejected. He gets ejected from the spaceship, and he plummets into Earth's atmosphere like a fucking meteor. But now he's powerful. He got like, I forgot what happened. He gets like mixed with like carbon fiber or something, and he becomes like an even more killing machine. This is what he looks like, and he literally plummets to Earth.
Yeah. Is he is it on the same timeline too? Like it's the same Jason that he was bullied?
Yeah, it should all be the same Jason and stuff.
Tight.
That's him going down to Earth.
Where'd you send it? Oh wait.
I'm putting it. Oh shit. Oh, I'm sending all this stuff to
You sending
I'm sending it to another person that probably wouldn't want any of this stuff.
Yeah, what's her face? Jessica Biel's tits to your wife.
No, well, I wish.
Way
like,
worse
this
than
is
that.
this is the new bare minimum. That's Jason flying down to Earth.
Let's see. I still don't see it.
It's in general, or it's in thumbnail. Fuck, Jesus
see.
fucking Christ, I can't. But he like gets morphed in with this like metal suit.
Man,
I gotta repost Jessica. I gotta repost Jessica Biel. My God, it's a crime. It should be a goddamn crime. Oh, Mamma Mia, so sexy.
That's not even the picture I thought you'd send. But fair enough.
Well, I don't think there's any, lewd pictures. But yeah, classic stuff.
Do you
I love
think
me
that
some B horror films.
Do you think there's a tone, like a prevalent tone like that today, that in 20 years we'll look back at and be disgusted by? That was seen as kind of ruining movies? Because this I hadn't heard of this Jason X thing, and that's like ridiculously bad. But it makes me think of
I mean, I think
it makes me think of that last Aliens movie. Did you Aliens Resurrection or something?
I don't think it was it Resurrection? Is that what it was called?
It was, yeah.
That one's older, isn't it? Yeah, that one's older.
Yeah, it's I think it's technically 4. But they like.
Oh, I thought you were talking about, because there's one more new one called Alien Covenant. So are you talking about the one from back in the day, or Alien Covenant?
Well, it would have been the same period, like late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay, yeah.
And
no, I don't think I've ever seen Alien Resurrection. I heard it's terrible though.
Yeah, well, it's a totally different. You're right. It's like a Doom like faux 40K aesthetic.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the xenomorph kind of like alien thing too. They had to change it up.
Everything's like Quake colors, like brown and green. Yeah,
like rust. Everything's like rusty.
Yeah, and everyone's wearing like stupid leather, like Matrix and stuff. And it's
sign of the times, dude.
Looking back at it, it feels so just devoid of any taste or appeal. It's just weird to think it was made like at all. You know what I mean?
I enjoy that there's a period of time where this happened. It's fun. It's like people just collectively were like, "This is sick," and then 2 years later, people were like, "Okay, that's kind of never mind."
Well, that's what I mean.
Enjoy being able to look back on it.
So today, you think it'll be The Conjuring? That'll be like the big.
I think it'll probably be like all of the like really long franchise stuff. Like I don't think Saw will be looked back on very favorably. I could be wrong though, but to me that feels like a Nightmare on Elm Street kind of thing.
Right.
Where it's like there's a couple of good ones and the rest are just like garbage.
Even just outside of horror though, like I wonder if
I think like the Fast and Furious is like a big one.
Oh, for sure. Obviously.
I think Fast and Furious, and I really
that stretches back 20 years though. You know what I mean?
And I really don't think the Marvel movies are going to age very well. Like I think people who were outside of the realm of like even the first run of stuff. Well, I don't know. I guess it could be like a Star Wars thing. I think maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I think the original set
with the Infinity Saga thing, whatever,
it's probably fine. And then like it seems like everybody hates after the rest of it now, like already. So
yeah. I mean, they'll probably say it about Hobbit too. Like I imagine the Hobbit movies, people already hate them now, but I think in the future they'll be even more ostracized, I guess.
Do you think Lord of the Rings will ever be ostracized and seen as like cheesy?
No, it's the perfect amount. That's one thing I love about Lord of the Rings is it's 3 movies, it's done, it tells a finite story, and it's just like, funny, like we're done.
Yeah.
This is the best part. That's like the thing that like ruined Star Wars, in my opinion, is like they're just trying to milk this whole fucking universe when it's like, who gives a shit about anything that isn't like Skywalker stuff? You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. I think Lord of the Rings, it's just too good of a story. And I think that like also they're just infectiously fun is how I always say. Like I don't think there's any character in that movie where I'm like, oh, that actor's performance is bad. I really can't think of one. Can you guys think of one?
What was the question?
No, guess not. A bad performance in Lord of the Rings.
Is there any characters in Lord of the Rings you don't like?
I think Legolas is kind of a bit shoddy.
Yeah, but do you think he fills the role though, being the opposite of Gimli?
I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't think he really brings the movie down.
I also don't think that he's in it enough to like be like, oh my God, get the fuck out of here. Because usually he's like sliding down stairs and shooting people with arrows and stuff. He has his moments. I'm glad they don't have tons of lines with him, but I can see what you mean.
I think he had.
Do you think that the movie would be?
I watched the extended Fellowship earlier, like a couple weeks ago, and he has more lines that kind of set up how the elves and dwarves hate each other more.
Yeah,
like
the racism between the elves and dwarves.
Yeah, I think they just more or less cut all of that, and it wasn't really missed. Yeah,
well, it's kind of like shit. Where it's just like, I feel like you can just be like, yeah, they hate each other, and you can just like, it's like, oh, okay. Like, I don't think anyone's just like, well, why?
I can't think of a bad performance, but the one thing that did stick out to me that did not age well was that shot when Frodo's waking up of Elrond, and it's like a fish eye lens of his face.
I'm trying to see.
It's so glaringly bad, and like kind of like what we were talking about, just like poor late 90s choice, but in Lord of the Rings. Let's see if I can find it.
Is it the part where I don't know actually. Is it before or after the war is done?
It's when he
is it this part right
Frodo
here?
Gets stabbed by the ring wraith.
Yeah, okay. So it is this part right here.
Yeah, it's just if you see it in the movie, like it's so bizarre, It sticks out as such like an unpolished effect compared to everything else.
Yeah, I'd have to watch it again in the context because I guess it doesn't seem too terrible in screenshot form, but I think maybe like it might like be just glaring in motion.
Yeah, and just the like blurry glow that they have, it really reads like. I mean, even that right there, it looks like a bad, like you just learned Photoshop. Do
you think if there was one gay sex scene in Lord of the Rings, it would have been more popular than Harry Potter?
Well, it probably depends on who's having sex.
Well, that's what I was thinking because I was like, I feel like if it was Sam and Frodo, no one would really care because people are probably just assuming that they're doing that anyways. But imagine like Legolas and Gimli. Racism destroyed by lovemaking.
That is nice. Yeah. after Gandalf speaks friend and they go in Moria.
Yeah.
And they both think about it.
They have to shoehorn it in somehow. And it's like during that part, it's like right before Aragorn tosses Gimli at Helm's Deep. He's like, 1 second. Like, let's go around the corner of the castle. Just bang it out real quick. Gimli
he whispers Baylock in Legolas's ear. Yeah.
He's standing up on a pile of bricks that are toppled over, and he's like, Gimli's bent over and he's reached for Legolas's dick in between his thighs. I still only counts as one.
How do you think
Aragorn's like, what's going on over there? Don't come over here.
How do you think they filmed that? Because
I think Peter Jackson
is
in between their legs.
He was like a
them.
6 foot tall man, so he'd have to be.
Well, that's why I said he's standing. Gimli is standing on a pile of bricks that's toppled over.
I see.
So he's at an appropriate thing, and Peter Jackson's laying flat on his back with one of those handheld cameras. And we're getting some real deep shots, which honestly, this is it actually just you get to see the penetrating of love, how love breaks hate. Legolas is smooth porcelain egg skin pounding into Gimli's probably stretch mark ridden, pimple based, hairy fucking thighs and asshole. I'm telling you, dude, I think that if you had a scene like that, some kind of moment, I think that you would have gotten all kinds of people on Lord of the Rings side.
Would have hit 1 billion.
It probably would have. I hate to say it, but I do think it would have hit 1 billion.
Mm-hmm. And then you have Gandalf crest the hill right when that's happening. You know, it's nice and metaphorical. It's like the world is saved now. All is right. The orcs are vanquished.
Gimli, like it's that part where he comes over the hill, it's all bright, you know, and you hear the Uruk-hai, they're like, Rrr. Gimli hobbles around the corner with his pants around his ankles, Legolas come dripping out from him in between his legs. He's like, toss me! Aragorn grabs him and throws him into the crowd. Fucking hits him like a goddamn like a water balloon, just splats all this cum all over him. From the crowd. Yeah. That's why Legolas, and that's why Legolas was unable to shoot down that Uruk-hai suicide bomber. Was because he had empty balls. He was so smitten with how good Gimli's ass was that he was unfocused. You get that
dwarf fellatio dopamine spike, and then it wears off.
Yeah, now you're borderline retarded.
And now you're crashed.
He's basically sleeping. It's like Benadryl for children, whatever. It's just like get ready to pass out. Actually, I think that he's distracted because Gimli's standing on top of a statue by a gargoyle with his pants down, smacking his ass. We have Aragorn screaming at him in Elfish, whatever. He can't focus on it. He sees his pride. He sees his pride, dude.
That's a good joke. That's a good bit. Yeah, it was great.
Why wasn't there more trolls in these fights? You notice that in the Return of the King thing, there was tons of like armored trolls and shit. But Helm's, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. Why didn't Saruman send trolls instead of?
They didn't have trolls. Those were Saurons.
Yeah, but Sauron was working with Saruman. Yeah,
they're buddies, but they're also competitors.
Are they competitors? I thought that Saruman was like just fully under Sauron's reign. Which also I hate how similar their names are.
He thinks he's going to get to be fellas with Sauron, and they're going to rule the world together.
I think he thinks he's going to get the ring and beat up Sauron.
Oh, so he's trying to play him to where he can be the big bad guy.
That's my vibe. Plus, also, it's like, why didn't he have orcs either? He just sent his own shit, even though he had like a few orcs in the first one.
Which is I actually don't know this. What is the Lord of the Rings delineation between goblins and orcs? What's the appearance difference? Aren't orcs like the lame ones, and goblins are the bigger ones?
They're all the same.
I think the only thing that's different is Uruk-hai tainted elves.
I thought Uruk-hai was orcs and goblins crossed.
No,
I'm pretty sure they're like tainted elves, right?
Well, that's what orcs are. Period. I think. They're like fucked up
So
elves.
orcs and goblins are the same thing, and only the films made that a delineation to any extent. And then Urukai are like men bred with something, orcs or something.
That's crazy. So is there like a rape pit where they like force human men to fuck?
Well,
like,
that'd be my play.
if I was running things, that's what I would be doing.
I think Peter Jackson
get on in the doghouse.
He made the Born in the Mud thing up. Weren't people pissed off about that? And were they pissed off because no, orcs actually come from a man getting raped by an orc?
or is an orc getting raped by a man?
Something.
And the wildlings.
They give they give a man like bull testosterone. He's just fucking blind with horny rage. Just fucks like 3 orcs, impregnates them.
So in Tolkien, are there female orcs?
There's gotta be, dude.
And then they just skip that in the movies?
Yeah, really just to get him out of there.
I don't know.
I bet you Peter Jackson's fat ass was walking around set. He had like 4 days of production of just like watching like orc sex with men. And like Miramax came in and they're like, we cannot release this. He's like pinching his glasses and stuff. He's like, well, why not? Well, okay, well, I guess we can do a couple reshoots, but it's going to be a bit weird.
He's a faithful steward of the lore.
I do have a question for you guys though, because what you recently said triggered a thought in my head, which is, do you prefer goblin, or do you prefer the word goblin, or do you prefer the word orcs? I think orcs sounds cooler.
Yeah,
I think orcs are inherently. It's like a more.
I think goblins sound
sounding.
weak,
Mm-hmm.
like kind of ratty. Like they have a place, but orcs are kind of like, ooh.
It's got that hard consonant at the end.
I actually always. I never liked the C in orc though in fantasy. I always preferred.
I always thought it was ORK. Is it not ORK?
K is just 40K. Everyone else is C. I think.
Oh, I think the K. Yeah. ORK is cool. Hard. I don't know why the C. Yeah, it cheapens it for some reason for me.
It's kind of pussy-footed. It's limp-wristed.
Like that's how I say it with the C. Orc. Mm-hmm. That's how I say it with the K. Like orc.
Apparently there are female orcs, but Tolkien just never really said anything about them because he was a good man.
So but that means that all those orcs come from fucking and not from mud.
Well, I don't know about Uruk-hai, but yeah, for sure orcs.
That's kind of funny.
How do we know there isn't a trans orc out there?
Well, I just like that. Therefore, because when Mount Doom explodes,
Tolkien was a devout Catholic,
and Mordor sinks into the ground. All of the orc women and children also went with the soulless masses of
living the only existence they ever knew.
Yeah,
living the
only existence they knew. They just hang out and make orcs.
That's what I'm saying. They're just like they're living normal lives, like making clothes, baking bread, and then all of a sudden they just get fucking destroyed. You know what, dude? Just because they're a goddamn dirty orc, though, you can't feel bad for them, man. I'm looking up a bunch of female orc fantasy stuff here on Google, and I'm getting really hard. God, she's sexy. There's like no way to not make an orc look like just a man.
I feel bad for the whole fucking design team that was allocated to sculpting the orc tits, and the whole department got gutted.
Who? What?
In the movie.
In the movie, there was a department for orc tits, and they're like, fuck it, never mind.
Yeah, they spent all day sculpting labia and fucking titties, and they just got gutted.
Apparently these are supposed to be females in the movie. Is what I'm reading.
Which ones? Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, fuck that, dude. Those are goblins. That's a goblin, and the orcs are the.
They do look like British women now that you say it.
Yeah.
A British woman 2 a.m. after the club be like.
Angels, dude. Fucking angels.
I think they were actually played by women, but no, I reject that. That's like a funny.
I mean, you can reject
the creative choice to make. No, let's make the orcs born of mud. It definitely smooths over the reality of genociding the entire race by the end of the series, because it's like they're just like mud people.
I don't like that in the Born in Mud. I think it looks cool, but then you definitely know they're not fucking, or they got like no cocks or balls, and I don't like that.
I like to imagine they have cocks and balls just because, I
like to imagine they've just got a little nub that splatters stuff.
It's like a little it's a little fucking anteater tongue.
It kind of shits and pisses. It's like one hole.
Yeah, but like a splutter, it's like a cloaca, and it splutters, and they splutter each other's faces as a form of dominance.
It's like taking a fucking spoonful of India ink and just throwing it against your wall.
Yeah, and they hold each other's faces in it, and they laugh. Oh, look at Gronk getting spluttered.
That's their laughs.
And they call it canvassing each other because they're making art.
They're truly ready for war.
They're too revved up. We have to unleash them on the free folk of Middle Earth.
Right, Radin, go boys! They run off in the forest.
Exactly.
If you had to be a not cool fantasy creature, which one would you be? Like, if you had to know that it was kind of shitty. I think I'd be a tree person.
An ant? Ants are kind of Ants are pretty cool. What's wrong with an ant?
Don feels personally attacked.
Yeah, the ants are great, dude. Ants, ants might be the best.
They're so tall and their backs are so fragile. What's wrong with them?
No, they're not fragile. They're solid and unbending.
They're like, in the movie, they're retarded. I mean, they're basically retarded.
No, they're just old people. That's going to be you someday. They talk slow and think slow because they're old.
I mean, they sat there and like they walk 6 feet and they see all these trees burn down and they're like, oh my God, when did this happen? It's like, how the fuck did you guys not know about this? They're big, tall retards, basically. I mean, like they're slow. It can easily combust to flames. There's no subtlety of hiding unless you're by a forest.
Nah, but they're fine. Like, I don't think they take any casualties when they sack.
I mean, this is also my choice.
No,
right?
No. Well, I agree with you, and I reject the cons. What I'm rejecting is that they're a lame fantasy race. I think they're great.
I'm saying that of all of them, I'd say they're on the lower tier for me.
All right, that's fine. You're not like a elf with everything going for you. You're not boring.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I just think the thing about the elves is like, oh, they have so many pluses of being like, I don't know, like you're rich basically, you're immortal, you're a badass fighter, you probably fuck all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's there's too many pros versus like a tree person. It's like you're a tree person.
I think I'd be a spider.
They die all the time, though.
No, only the ones who come out trying to kill wizards and shit.
No, I think you have to eat. You have to live off eating orcs. And the orcs stab you sometimes, unless you're a really big one. Like
also to not be so cool, you have to be kind of like not as big and cool of a spider.
I'd be happy to be one of the spiders in the Hobbit. You know what I mean?
You never get to fuck either, because then she's gonna eat you.
I don't care, dude. I just want to hang out. The spiders scare me. So if I'm a spider, I'm not scared.
I'm in Middle Earth, then there's nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm claustrophobic. And I think that knowing me, I'd be a claustrophobic spider. So I wouldn't like living in those tunnels, dude. Once again, I'm going to stick with my big bark retard.
I think Tom's talking about in the forest, you could be a big forest spider and eat hobbits.
Yeah, but you're not like sleeping out in the open. You have you have to go down to like a hole, right? That's like kind of the whole thing with spiders.
Or a web.
In the book, they just have a big like web place in the forest.
I don't know, dude. Hanging out with your boys all day. You don't have to be worried about spiders because you are one.
That's
talking,
true.
chattering to each other.
Well, your boys start disappearing when they go they're tempted.
Yeah,
by
you're
the
gonna be
lady
fucking
spiders.
sleeping. You're gonna be sleeping in your web, and then a fucking 3 arrows are just gonna go into your body, and then you're just dead. I mean,
Yeah,
what would
orcs-
you care? You're a spider.
Orcs probably eat spiders too.
Nah,
else?
dude.
You think
Orcs are
orcs
scared
eat
of
spiders?
No,
For sure.
chance.
They eat
Orcs
each other. That's kind of crazy.
Orcs eat canvas. They don't eat spiders.
Canvas?
Orcs eat canvas.
Yeah, when they're canvassing each other, that's their nutrition.
Oh, canvas. Okay. I don't know why. I imagine them raiding Midas Tirith, whatever, and like eating paintings. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, this looks good. I was like, that's a pretty docile creature. I feel like you could get along with that guy. Give me canvas. Like, okay. There you go. You'll never go hungry. I will make this whenever you want. All right, fine. Treat you. Peace on earth.
Could I be one of the horses in the water?
No, dude.
Oh, magic elf horse.
No, you already said fucking spider. All right.
All right, what are you doing?
And they also have to be kind of lame. You can't. Fucking magic horse is too cool.
No, it's not. You get summoned like occasionally, and then you rise down
That's the
like
best
a
thing
water
ever.
slide.
You're never truly in danger. You're just like summoned to do one task, and then you get to just chill in like probably like some mystical fucking aether.
All right, I'm going spider then.
Don, what about you?
I think I might be like a bird, like one of the talking birds.
Talking bird.
Yeah, in the
which movie
Hobbit.
is that in?
In the Hobbit, the entrance to the Smaug's, the dwarf place that he's taken up in the book, they have to like figure out that there's like a bird kind of guarding the entrance or whatever, and then one of the dwarves knows how to talk to him. He knows like bird language, you know.
He knows bird language.
Yeah, literally, he knows how to speak bird, and he talks to the bird, and then they figure it out.
Why is it just for the idea of like, well, at least you get to fly? Is that kind of the big perk? At least?
I think it's Tom's logic. It's like you could probably avoid harm if you're the right kind of bird without that's like at the top of the food chain, you know?
Yeah.
And then you can just observe, and then your whole life is watching Lord of the Rings.
I'll
That's
accept
cool.
that answer because if you would have said eagle, I would have been like, that's too cool.
No, you can't.
be an
You
eagle.
can't say eagle. That doesn't count.
But at the
for
same
sure.
time, there is a lot of, I mean, with the bird thing, you have to talk to dwarves that also speak bird. So every once in a while, you have to like do a job. I don't really know if I like that.
Oh, so you have responsibility. I mean, I could just tell the dwarves to fuck off and fly away.
What happens though if you
I could be a mean
disobey
bird.
your role?
You think they'd shoot me with an arrow?
Well, I don't know. Well, I'm even saying like the bird council. There has to be some kind of like rule, right?
Oh, you know what? I'll bet the eagles eat fucking smaller birds too. So
Probably.
that might not be the
God
best
forbid
way.
an eagle hears about you not fulfilling your duties. Those motherfuckers would come rain down hell on you.
Yeah, well, what else is there? I'm trying to even.
He was kinda
think.
cute, dude.
The counts is like a lame race, you know?
I would have accepted goblin. They're kind of pathetic.
Nah, I don't want to be a goblin.
Well, I don't. I'm not saying that you would. I'm just saying like there's other things out there that are also lame.
Right.
If anything, you know
Yeah,
what's
if you're-
cute is that in the fantasy you all could live in my forest, and you could climb on me, and I'd be so tall and
I'm gonna web
retarded
you
that
up,
I'd never
bro.
even know. I'd never even know. What's on me? That's what I'd say.
What kind of
What's on me?
What kind of tree would you be? You can pick trees. There's like the pine tree one, the Christmas tree one. You know?
I'd be a giant Christmas tree would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
In this world, no one even celebrates Christmas. Am I at least fully decorated?
Who decorates you? Would you be
I don't know.
annoyed if
my,
they decorated
my bird
you?
and spider friend? Maybe I don't fucking know. Yeah,
The
fuck it.
woodland
You know what?
creatures.
I'm either if I can be a fully lit up Christmas tree and I'm connected to a very long extension cable, which I can still only go so far, but I can at least walk around. I take that. I would take that, or I'd want to be like an extremely tall, skinny tree, to where my face would look really funny on it because it's so skinny.
Like a stick bug. Kind of shape.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's fun.
And I would
You
just sit
could
there all
be-
day, just being like, "I'm a tree," and everyone would be like, "You're barely a fucking tree, dude. You're like a branch." I'm totally awesome.
Man, I wish I could be an Ent. We can't double pick.
Too bad, dude.
Yeah, I know. And I'm trying to think of another, like, what other lame races are even left that aren't picked?
I feel like Hobbit.
I don't think that's that lame though. That looks so nice,
in terms of fantasy, I would say that it's
no.
The pro is that you get a nice life.
Fine. Nothing's gonna happen to you.
Well, that's not true. What about the sacking of the Shire?
When does that happen?
Well, I'm just saying it could have happened. So it's
it's
not you're totally immune from danger.
It does. It doesn't in the book.
Or here? Oh, it does.
Yeah, it's like a whole nother fucking story after the actual.
We've also spent maybe 7. I mean, I'm not even joking. We've probably spent 7 hours in record time talking about people, just like dominating them in all kinds of different ways. All right, mostly sexual. All right, but dominating nonetheless. So I feel like the Hobbit, the plus side is like you get a nice peaceful existence and you kind of get to live long, but the bad side is that you're a Hobbit.
Yeah, but how is that a downside though if you stay in the Shire? Like, who cares? There's no one, like, very rarely do you see someone that's freakishly taller than
castles,
you know?
In a world with castles and all that kind of stuff, I feel like I would just want to do something more fantastical than basically being like a vegan hipster in upstate New York. That's what a Hobbit feels like to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying that it would be a good life, but in terms of like, if I had to choose, or if I had to like put them up against all these other races, it's like they're pretty lame. Like they don't really do much.
As a tree man, you get to live forever too, or like, you know, a few hundred years or whatever. No, they're not immortal. They live as long as trees, right? So if nothing happens,
Hobbits do, or just you talking about the Ent people?
No, Ents, yeah, trees.
Oh, okay.
So that's, you know, that's more life for you.
Yeah, that feels like more of a punishment. Honestly, feels like a prison sentence. I'm a tree. It's like, okay,
but they have a kind of magic power where everything can go really slow for them or really fast. You know, like they're able to attack Saruman at normal speed, but then they have to obnoxiously talk to each other really slowly when people are waiting on them.
And they don't even really give a fuck if anybody's gone because they can see half of the forest is burnt down and cut down and they have no idea. Wait, what the hell? When the fuck did this happen? This is crazy. Actually, it'd be crazy too. Being an Ent is whenever the day comes down when all the trees get fucking like ran over, and then like just like apartment complexes go up.
No,
and only a couple of us remain. Oh, this used to be such a pretty forest.
I don't think it would happen because what was it, like the ring gets lost, and then it's lost for like 3,500 years, and the world does not change the slightest. Like the whole of the world is still fighting really with swords and armor and
yeah,
no progress.
Kind of makes the world seem pretty sad, honestly. It's like this is it forever. No other, like no one ever is just like, what about an iPhone? No one ever just once says that.
I mean, maybe what it is maybe in a world of magic, like none of that stuff is to be discovered. Like maybe there is no electricity in Middle Earth. You know?
Yeah.
Or gunpowder.
I don't know how.
It's just not part of nature.
To be fair, if you can fly around the dragon, I mean, do you really need? It's got to be fun enough. I was just thinking about all the downtime. Like, if there isn't a war going on, and I just have to live in Minas Tirith, am I just complaining about like the prices of like the apartments and shit there? You know what I mean?
It always annoyed me. That's like a kind of a Tolkien thing, though. He just makes everybody live forever. And
everybody lives forever.
Big numbers, big spans of time.
So he sounds like, I'm J.R.R. Tolkien. I love to write books. Wasn't he World War I or something? And he got discharged for like sucking dick or something?
That's it. Right. You nailed it.
Go home, Token. You're not welcome here. Darn it. He's like he's like looking at it like seductively dabbing his face with like a napkin. Well, I guess I'll be on my way.
He was an officer too, so he could have definitely ordered men in his trenches to pull down their breeches.
You, Higgins.
Yes, Sergeant Tolkien.
I think you know what time it is. Grab my quill and my pad of paper and assume your position.
Well, he's writing Lord of the Rings in between sucking.
Exactly. And he's humming the theme song. It's the exact same theme song in the movie. Getting his cock sucked by some like fucking.
No, he's sucking the guy's cock and he's taking his.
He's sucking his.
Yeah.
He's sucking the guy's
and in
cock.
between sucks.
Oh, that's good. Tie him
And
nicely.
he's having him transcribe like the guy sitting with a quill and paper.
Yeah, it's
Tolkien
like
sucking his
Joseph
cock.
Smith. It's like Joseph Smith transcribing the golden plates in his top hat, except the guy has to like listen to the gurgles of J.R.R. Tolkien sucking his cock. He's like, did you say orc or troll? He's like, he's like, okay, I got it. Oh.
That's the black speech of Mordor. That's how that was came up with.
Nice. That's how you invent a language.
Yeah, that's how the elven language came out. And it's just Tolkien really was our favorite sergeant to serve under.
That's right. Didn't put himself above anyone.
He was a real blue collar guy, you know.
Real hero.
All right. Well, that's their episode. We'll see you next time.